All right, guys, so I'm going to try to go through a couple of problems for you, even though you have videos from the normal work, just an FYI, okay? So uh, I'm going to look at number 12. Okay, at this point in time, I don't really know which one of those two would be the most difficult or the easiest to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and work with this one because there's two pieces, and I think it'd be easier for me to go from 2 to 1. So tangent of theta is sine theta over cosine theta. And then cotangent theta is cosine theta over sine theta. In order to add those two together, they have to have a common denominator. So this would have to be multiplied by cosine theta over cosine theta, so that we have sine theta, cosine theta. And this one would need to be multiplied by sine theta. Okay, and so now we've got sine theta times sine theta, which is sine theta squared, plus cosine squared theta, and then that's all over sine theta cosine theta. Okay, well, according to our Pythagorean identity, cosine squared and plus sine squared, or sine squared plus cosine squared, is equal to 1. So this would be 1 over sine theta cosine theta. And then if I separated that into two separate terms, then 1 over sine theta is cosecant theta. 1 over cosine theta is secant theta. And this matches the original identity we were asked to verify. So this equals secant theta, cosecant theta, and we are done. All right, so that's the expectation for the 1 through 30 from the day 1. Okay, then there's going to be one from 5-2, from the 1 through 4. It really doesn't matter which one I do because they're all similar. So looking at number 4, we have cosine 2 pi over 3 minus pi over 6. So this is a sum or difference identity. And so this is going to be cosine of my alpha, which in this case is 2 pi over 3, cosine of my beta, which is pi over 6, and then it's the opposite sign for the cosine, and then we have sine 2 pi over 3 sine pi over 6. Cosine of 2 pi over 3 is going to give me negative 1/2. Cosine of pi over 6 is going to give me, pi over 6 is right there, so that's going to be root 3 over 2. And then sine of 2 pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. And sine pi over 6 is going to be 1/2. So now we've got negative 1 times root 3, negative root 3 over 4, plus root 3 over 4. Negative, I didn't realize, I couldn't see that last part, sorry. So negative 1 times root 3 is negative root 3, 2 times 2 is 4, root 3 times 1 is root 3, and 2 times 2 is 4. So now negative root 3 plus root 3 is going to equal 0. All right, looking at the 5 through 8 section, this one is asking us to identify alpha and beta, and then write the expression as the cosine or sine of an angle, and then find the exact value of the expression. All right. I don't recall which one was the most problematic. So looking at 7, this is my alpha, this is my beta. We have cosine, cosine, and sine, sine. So this is going to be cosine of something alpha, beta. It's the opposite sign for cosine, so that's going to be alpha minus beta. So this is cosine 5 pi over 12 minus pi over 12. This is going to be cosine of 4 pi over 12, which is cosine of pi over 3. And then the cosine of pi over 3 is just root 3 over 2. Okay, moving on. 13 through, I don't remember the numbers. I'm thinking it was 20. So 13 through 20, yeah, that makes sense because tangent would not be part of it. Okay, so looking at 13 through 20, it says find the exact value of the expression. Okay, so for numbers 13, 14, 17, and 18, they are already giving them to us as sums or differences. But for 15, 16, 19, 20, we have to come up with that difference or sum. It does not matter. So 75 is the same as 30 plus 45, but it's also going to be the same as, I don't know right now. Okay, so, but I mean, that's just one way of doing it. 105, I see this as cosine 60 plus 45. 75, I would do 30 and 45 again. 105, same thing, cosine 60 and 45. So now looking between these two, let's do sine, because I've done a lot with cosine, I feel. So sine of 75 is sine of 70, or sine of 30 plus 45. This is the alpha, this is the beta. So then for sine, we are going to have the sine of 30 cosine of 45 plus cosine of 30 sine of 45. So sine of 30 is 1/2. Cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. And sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. So then this is root 2 over 4 plus root 6 over 4, which is root 2 plus root 6 all over 4. Okay, looking at 27 or 28. I know I've done 27 in one class and I did 28 in 2 of the classes. So I'll go with 28. We know it's tangent because it has tangent. And tangent has the sign of whatever is in the numerator. This is the alpha, this is the beta. So this is equal to tangent of 50 minus 20, which is going to be tangent of 30 degrees. So looking at the unit circle, that ends up being 1 over square root of 3, and then you have to rationalize that. So then it's root 3 over 3. Okay. Hang on just a second. Sorry about that. Had to check on the neighbor. Okay, so now looking at 1 through 6. Okay, so I know I was asked to do 5 and 6, and so it really doesn't matter. If I'm finding the tangent of 2 theta, then I can use that formula. But then I need tangent of theta, or sorry, of alpha. So tangent is 7 over 24. So tangent of alpha is 7 over 24. So if I've got this, then I can use that to find my tangent of the double angle. Tangent of the double angle is going to be equal to 2 times tangent of 7 over 24 all over 1 minus 7 over 24 quantity squared. Okay, so then that's not tangent. It's just 2 times 7 over 24. So then this ends up giving me 7 over 12 in the numerator. And in the denominator, this is the same as 24 over 24, but I just realized and remembered that's part squared. So I'm going to scrap this real quick. And I'm going to start over. So I've got 7 over 24 all over 1 minus 7 over 24 squared. Okay, so then I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 24 squared. So then this gives me 2 times 7 times 24, because one of the 24s cancel out, all over 24 squared distribution minus 7 squared. All right, so 2 times 7 times 24. I am going to have to... Okay, so I don't know where my phone is or a calculator. So I did 2 times 7 is 14. 14 times 24 is going to give me 336. And then in the denominator, 24 squared minus 7 squared is 576 minus 49. And that gives me, all told, 336 over 527. And that would be the answer. Okay, much faster if you have a calculator, I assure you. All right, now looking at 7 through 14. So 7 was asked for, 10 was asked for, and I think 13, or maybe it was 11. So it really, truly, honestly doesn't matter. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with 8. So we've got sine of theta is 12 over 13, and theta lies in quadrant 2. So the first thing that I want to do is sketch my triangle. And so theta is going to be, or sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's going to be 12 here and 13 here. So to find that missing side, I have to do x squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. So x squared plus 144 equals 169. Subtract that from both sides. X squared equals 25. And so then x equals 5. But this is on the left side of the y-axis, so this is negative 5. Okay, so finding sine of 2 theta, I need to find sine theta and cosine theta. All right, so currently sine theta we know is 12 over 13. Cosine theta is going to be negative 5 over 13. So then this is 12 over 13 times negative 5 over 13. So in the numerator, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, times 12 is negative 120. 13 times 13 is 169. All right, so that's part A. Now for part B, I have cosine double theta is cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. So then that's going to be negative 5 over 13 squared minus 12 over 13 squared. So 25 over 169 minus 144 over 169. And that is going to give me negative 119 over 169. So here's the sine, here's the cosine. Remember the tangent double angle, the easiest way to do this one is to do sine of 2 theta over cosine of 2 theta. So that's going to be negative 120 over 169 all over negative 119 over 169. These cancel. And so you have a negative over a negative. And so this is going to give me positive 120 over 119. All right. Let's go ahead and let's see. That's 5-3. So let's finish up 5-3. Sorry, I got lost. I'm going to autofocus here. So now we are looking at simplifying the double angle, and the half angle piece got taken off. So I will have to figure that out here in a second. All right, so then looking at this one, we know that these were using the formula sheet to identify which formula does it go with. And so this one is going to be the tangents. These are going to be cosine. This is cosine. And then these are the sine. So for this one, my theta is pi over 12. And then 1 minus 2 sine squared pi over 12 tells me to use cosine double angle. So then that's cosine 2 times pi over 12, which is going to be cosine of pi over 6. And cosine of pi over 6 is just root 3 over 2. Okay, so I did not have a half angle already provided, so we're going to do tangent of 30 and use the half angle identity to solve. So we have tangent of 30. This is the half angle. So if the half angle is 30 degrees, then the actual angle is 60 degrees. And then for tangent, we have 3 different half angle identities we can use. We've got the square root of 1 minus cosine alpha over 1 plus cosine alpha, 1 minus cosine alpha over sine alpha, or sine alpha over 1 plus cosine alpha. I am loving the 1 minus cosine alpha over sine alpha. Okay, so alpha, I'm so tired, otherwise I would have been able to figure out the other one. Okay, alpha is 60 degrees. I'm such a dummy. Alpha is 60 degrees. So we got 1 minus cosine of 60 degrees over sine of 60 degrees. I feel so dumb right now. All right, so that's going to be 1 minus, this is 1/2. And then in the denominator, sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. So multiply everything by 2 to get rid of the fractions. So we're distributing this to everything. So then we have 2 minus 1 over root 3, which is 1 over root 3, which is going to rationalize to root 3 over 3. Okay, and then last but not least, we've got 5-4. And for these, we are expressing the product as a sum or difference. So let's just go with number 6. I've got sine of 2x cosine of 3x. The formula that matches this one is going to be sine alpha cosine beta, which equals 1/2 sine the sum of alpha and beta plus sine the difference of alpha and beta. Okay, so then simplifying this, we get 1/2 sine of 5x plus sine of negative x. Sine of negative x is an odd identity, and this can be written as negative sine x. So then this would be, in its simplest form, sine 5x, 1/2 times the expression sine 5x minus sine x. Okay, and now sum to a product. Let's do 14. So cosine of 9x minus cosine of 7x. So alpha is 9x, beta is 7x. And we have cosine minus cosine. So that is going to give me -2. Let me write that down here. So that is going to give me -2 sine, and then it's alpha plus beta all over 2, and then it's going to be sine alpha minus beta all over 2. So then we've got sine of 16x over 2, and then we've got 2x over 2. So this ends up being sine of 8x times sine of x, and that's all we have. All right, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.